Is NASA withholding evidence of Earth-threatening asteroids to avoid public panic is a question that fuels speculation, conspiracy theories, and real concerns about planetary defense. NASA's Near-Earth Object, NEO, program actively tracks thousands of asteroids and comets that could pose a risk to Earth in the future. With advanced telescopes, radar systems, and international collaborations, scientists continuously monitor the skies for potentially hazardous asteroids, PHAs. Despite NASA's transparency in reporting asteroid discoveries, some believe that the agency may withhold or delay information about truly catastrophic threats. The fear is that if a large asteroid were on a collision course with Earth, governments would conceal the truth to prevent mass panic and societal collapse. This suspicion is fueled by past instances where governments have withheld sensitive information on threats, raising doubts about full public disclosure. NASA, however, insists that it operates with complete transparency, providing public access to asteroid data through JPL's Center for Near-Earth Object Studies, CNEOS. Every newly discovered asteroid with a possible Earth impact trajectory is logged and publicly analyzed through the Sentry Impact Monitoring System. The Planetary Defense Coordination Office, PDCO, was created specifically to ensure that any potential asteroid threats are identified and publicly addressed. If a truly dangerous asteroid were detected, scientists argue that global space agencies would need time to calculate precise impact probabilities before alarming the public. In most cases, newly discovered asteroids appear risky at first, but later calculations show they will safely miss Earth by large distances. For example, asteroid Apophis, once considered a major threat for 2029, was later ruled out after refined orbital predictions proved it would miss Earth. Critics argue that while NASA shares asteroid data, there could be classified programs monitoring threats that the public isn't aware of. Some speculate that military space programs or intelligence agencies might be involved in asteroid monitoring, keeping certain impact risks confidential. If an asteroid impact were inevitable, skeptics believe world governments might only inform select officials, preparing underground shelters for elites while leaving the public uninformed. Hollywood movies like Deep Impact and Don't Look Up have amplified fears that authorities would hide asteroid threats to maintain economic and social stability. However, in reality, hiding an incoming asteroid impact would be nearly impossible, as astronomers worldwide, both professional and amateur, constantly scan the skies. Independent observatories, universities, and private researchers track NEOs, meaning that a truly hazardous asteroid would likely be detected by multiple sources. Any major impact threat would involve global scientific cooperation, making a large-scale cover-up logistically improbable in today's connected world. NASA has publicly warned about the need for planetary defense measures, proving that the agency takes the asteroid threat seriously rather than ignoring it. Efforts like the DART, Double Asteroid Redirection Test, mission, which successfully altered an asteroid's orbit, show that scientists are actively working on deflection strategies. If NASA were hiding evidence of incoming asteroids, it would contradict the agency's investment in asteroid deflection technology and impact prevention research. Some argue that while NASA does not intentionally hide asteroid threats, it may downplay certain risks to avoid unnecessary fear and misinformation. Past instances of misreported impact risks, where initial estimates exaggerated danger, have led to public skepticism about NASA's credibility. One of the most well-known cases was asteroid 2012 DA14, which came close to Earth but was safely predicted to miss, despite public panic over its approach. Skeptics point out that in the past, governments have underreported natural disasters, nuclear incidents, and military threats, leading to distrust in official narratives. If an asteroid had a low but real probability of impact, some fear that NASA would delay public announcements until further analysis reduced uncertainties. However, astronomers emphasize that the sooner an asteroid is detected, the more time humanity has to prepare deflection missions or emergency responses. NASA collaborates with global space agencies, including ESA, JAXA, and Roscosmos, meaning that any major asteroid impact risk would likely become public knowledge quickly. In the event of an unavoidable impact, international organizations like the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, UNOOSA, would be involved in response planning. NASA's planetary defense strategies include asteroid impact simulations to help world leaders prepare evacuation plans or emergency countermeasures if a strike were imminent. If evidence of an asteroid threat were truly being withheld, private space companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Rocket Lab would likely detect and disclose it. Many conspiracy theories surrounding asteroid cover-ups stem from mistranslations of scientific data, where complex probability models are mistaken for secrecy. A key reason why NASA continually updates asteroid risk assessments is because orbits shift over time, requiring constant recalculations to confirm or rule out impacts. Some fear that a surprise asteroid impact, like the Chelyabinsk meteor explosion in 2013, could occur without warning despite existing tracking systems. The Chelyabinsk event, which injured over 1,500 people in Russia, was not detected in advance because it approached Earth from the direction of the Sun. This event proved that while NASA is highly capable of tracking large asteroids, smaller but still dangerous space rocks can go unnoticed. The Bennu and Ryugu asteroids, both classified as potentially hazardous objects, have prompted extensive NASA missions to study their composition and impact risks. NASA's OSIRIS-REx mission, which collected samples from asteroid Bennu, is part of ongoing research to understand how to prevent future asteroid collisions. If NASA were actively hiding asteroid threats, its public investments in asteroid impact research and global collaboration would make little sense. Governments might carefully manage how impact risks are communicated, but a complete cover-up would require silencing thousands of independent astronomers worldwide. While some worry about secrecy, the greater concern is whether Earth has adequate asteroid defense systems to respond if a real threat emerges. Many experts believe that planetary defense funding should increase, ensuring that deflection strategies like kinetic impactors and gravity tractors are fully developed. Instead of focusing on whether NASA is hiding information, scientists urge world leaders to prioritize asteroid defense programs before an impact threat arises. The best way to prevent asteroid disaster is early detection, public awareness, and investment in space-based monitoring and mitigation strategies. Regardless of whether an impact threat is discovered next year or in the next century, humanity's preparedness will determine whether we avert catastrophe or face extinction. The real question is not whether NASA is withholding asteroid evidence, but whether world governments are acting fast enough to protect the planet from future impacts.